The current directive is that persons be buried within 10 days of their death, which government says is suffice in terms of the mourning period for families. While most families are coming to terms with the new normal in terms of how the loved ones are to be laid to rest, the process is still cumbersome. Many have raised complaints over the time that insurance companies take to pay over the funeral benefits to families of the deceased. Some families who did not want to speak on camera called out funeral cover providers for sticking to their usual payment schedules despite the special circumstances. This, they say, results in them having to fork out cash to cover costs, at times forced to approach cash loans and other micro-lenders in order to keep to government's 10-day burial deadline. NBC News spoke to the Minister of Health on whether government takes these factors into consideration before coming up with the regulations.
Well, our responsibility is really to preserve life and put in regulations. Then there is another arm of government which is responsible for compliance and enforcement. So, but this is really a matter between the family and the company concerned. And if the family feels that the company is not doing what they do, they must look at the avenue where they can seek redress.
Calls to a number of funeral cover providers went unanswered. However, payments typically take up to 7 days to be processed, further dependent on the deceased's selected cover options. Minister Shangula is directing service providers to align their services with government's directive on COVID-19 burials.
They know that funeral must take place within a certain period of time, and they should adjust accordingly to ensure that they are not bringing discomfort to already traumatized families.
For now, the 10-day period will be maintained, the minister says, until new scientific evidence emerges on curbing the spread of COVID-19. Blanche Koreses, NBC News, Windhoek.